Venezuela between anti-government protesters and police continued on Friday. Jailed opposition leader Leopoldo Lopez has called for continued demonstrations on Saturday. Meanwhile, an American news channel says the Venezuelan government has withdrawn their reporters' rights to work in the country. For more on all of this, we are joined by CCTV's Martin Markovitz, who's in Caracas. What's the latest there, Martin?
Hi, Mike. Yes, protests are continuing in Venezuela. So far, 8 people have died in the political unrest. Yesterday, 3,000 military paratroopers were deployed to take control of the western city of San Cristobal, which has had the most violent demonstrations so far. The opposition mayor of San Cristobal denounced the deployment, saying that the military would cause more chaos in the city. Also, a Venezuelan man rammed his car through the front of the Venezuelan consulate in Aruba. There was no injuries, but in response, Venezuela ordered the diplomatic staff at the consulate to go back home. Meanwhile, the government revoked the accreditation of several CNN journalists, including reporter Osmary Hernandez. President Maduro has specifically targeted CNN, calling its coverage unbalanced and has labeled it as war propaganda. CNN issued a statement saying that they hope that the government would reconsider their decision. This is very worrisome to press freedom advocates. In the beginning of the unrest, Colombian news channel NTN24 had its signal cut due to its coverage of the demonstrations, while the government has repeatedly shut down the internet in the western part of the country where protests have been strongest.
Martin, the opposition leader, as I mentioned, is calling for peaceful demonstrations to take place tomorrow, Saturday. What are the expectations on both sides, the government and the opposition?
Well, yeah, tomorrow there will be rival concentrations, and once again, there is concern that this could lead to violence between both sides since the protests are happening at the same time. But they will be held in different locations. A big worry is that radical groups from both sides will clash. On one side, we have the colectivos, which are armed motorcycle groups loyal to the Maduro that have gone to opposition demonstrations and have shot at protesters. On the other side, we have opposition student radical groups that have attacked government buildings and security forces and also have lighted fires and put in place roadblocks across the country. It was these two groups that clashed over a week ago that resulted in the deaths of 3 people that kick-started this current political crisis.
Martin Markovitz, live for us in Caracas.